Hey, you guys got a minute? Okay, maybe more than a minute. Check out my new windshield setup. It's pretty legit. So my last video about the Defender, I told you this was coming, a front windshield and a back windshield. Let me show you what I bought, talk about why I bought it. This setup is awesome. On the front, you're looking at the Max Drive Power Flip glass windshield. This thing's fantastic. And on the rear, we also have a glass windshield with a slider. I can't remember exactly what brand that one was. Maybe look that up in a minute. These have been on here for a few weeks now, and so far I absolutely love them. So if you have a UTV and it does not have a windshield, you're going to learn real quick that you do need one. Anything above 10 or 15 miles an hour and the wind just pummels you in here, whether it's hot or cold, really doesn't matter. Bugs when it's hot, the cold just beating your face. You need a windshield if you're going to be moving at speeds. So the question isn't really do I need a windshield or not, but what do I get? Glass versus poly, flip versus not, and what do I do about the rear? Honestly, I'm gonna stop you right there. If you're gonna put a windshield on the front, you gotta put one on the back. And that's not a joke. If you put a windshield on the front, put one on the back, or don't do either of them at all. Here's why. If you have a windshield on the front and it's all the way closed, and you don't have one on the back, you're gonna get the vortex effect, and wind and dust will roll up over the top of your cab, swirl, and as it does, it kicks all the dust right back into the cab. So if you have nothing back here stopping it, you're basically going to be kicking up dust, throwing it right back in the cab, into the seating area, and it will be worse than if you had no front windshield at all. Prime example, go down a gravel road in a pickup truck, and if you have a rear glass slider, open that up, see what happens. For now, I'm gonna lower this back down. I'll demo that in more detail later, so if you're looking at this exact model, then you have an idea of what you're getting into. So the next question is glass versus poly. I went with glass. Why? Well, a couple of reasons. One, long term, I'm going to put a cab on this thing, or I think I will. And so I wanted something that was going to be heavy duty, have a good seal on it, and help trap a little bit more heat in there. Secondarily, I hate when poly gets hazy and scratchy and you can't see out of it, especially at nighttime. If you've had a poly windshield on anything, you know over time, they do start to get the spider web effect and hazy, and you just can't see out of them as well as you can glass. This is crystal clear. Sure, it's heavier than poly, but look at this. When you're in here, assuming I cleaned it well, you look out here, it's like it's not even there. No hazing, no spider webs, perfect. Yeah, sure, glass isn't as strong as poly, and so if you have tree branches smoking the front of this thing, probably not the best. This is for farm use. I don't plan on taking it down trails where I have, you know, giant tree branches hanging out in the middle for this thing to get hit. If you're a trail rider only on a, you know, different style UTV where it's more performance based, then yeah, poly might be the way to go. Around here, farm and ranch, glass all day. And you know, if you wanted to save a few bucks, you probably could get away with poly on the rear, but I bought this thing brand new. I'm one to keep things for a very long time. For example, my pickup is a 2014 that I bought in 2014. So it's 12 years old and don't plan on letting it go anytime soon. So I'm gonna have this for the long haul. I want to go ahead and spend the extra money and get a nicer unit here. Another awesome thing about glass versus the poly is these things come fitted with a spot for a windshield wiper. Can't really use a windshield wiper on a poly windshield. It's gonna scratch over time. This is like a car windshield. Windshield wiper is available, ice scraper if you want to, any kind of cleaning solution, typically for glass. So that's glass versus poly, but why the flip? Well, honestly, I love being able to open this thing up and have ventilation when you want it. So when I'm putzing around here working on jobs, I love the airflow. So as good as it is at stopping the wind, you kind of always don't want that. And I believe this windshield comes in both the power fold and a manual fold. I think the manual version will flip out about 6 inches and lock. So you have closed, like a 6-inch open position, or all the way up. Whereas with this thing, you can kind of really pick anything under the sun that you would like. And as far as functionality, when you're in here, you have a momentary rocker. So it defaults to the middle position. Hold open to open and close to close. There's no kind of hit it and let it go, you know, open, close. It's not a auto up, auto down type thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this thing up so you guys can see how long it takes for it to open. I know this is great YouTube, and I don't know how loud it is on camera. It's not bad in here. But again, you can stop anywhere you want. So there it is all the way up. You can see it does lift pretty high. So you got it basically parallel with the roof. Obviously it's sitting down a little bit below the roof, but it doesn't obstruct your view at all when you're in here. And this right here is how I drive around the farm most of the time. If we're out with the kids going fast, then yeah, sure, we're gonna close this thing, especially in the cooler months. But out here when it's warm, after I'm working on projects, I like to open this thing up, and it's amazing how nice the airflow is to be able to have that option versus not. Said differently, if I'm gonna buy a windshield, whether it's glass or poly, I'm getting some level of adjustability, whether it's the manual one that kind of locks in a couple positions or this one all the way up. I would miss that airflow so much. And yeah, this has more moving pieces and parts and things to go wrong, but just a couple little actuators. They're slow, but you know what? I'll take that. Them being slow is a sign that the gearing is really tight. This has actually got quite a bit of rigidity to it once it's up. As you can see here, it really does not move. That's the glass flexing, not really those arms going down at all. This is certainly not going anywhere, and I'll drive it around like this here in a few. If you want to do the math, it's actually an 8-inch stroke on these cylinders, and it says it'll do 0.39 inches per second. So there you go. Here, I'll do it for you. That's like 20.5 seconds. So under 21 seconds to fully open or close. As far as install, really not that bad. They have really great detailed instructions. So you got to take off the hood and the cowling here to get to the electrical, where the battery connection is. Even though the battery's in the back, there's a positive negative up here. So you fish the wire through the firewall, push the harness in there, and you got to set your rocker switch. The electrical side is more involved than anything else. As far as mounting the windshield itself and the actuators, you got a couple brackets on each side that hold these mounts where the actuator goes. Everything I just described there is all for the electrical and the opening and closing. As far as the windshield itself, you just got these two big hinges up here that mount to the frame up above. It's got a real nice gasket on here. It closes really nice. I'd be curious when a cab's on here how tight it'll ultimately be, but so far very pleased with that. It's one of those situations where I got a few hours in the install on this thing. If you pulled up another one right now and wanted me to install it, I could probably do it in half the time. Just how it goes. The rear windshield will take about 20 minutes. Also, I don't know if you noticed, this one is tinted, and I really like that. A little privacy glass here. But yeah, I went with the slider in here just to kind of match what you have on a truck, so you get a little more airflow through here when you want, especially once the doors are on here one day. It'd be nice to have the extra airflow. This thing though is just kind of resting on here, so you basically just set it in here and it rests on this back bar, and then you have these two latches up here, so you can kind of remove it pretty quickly if you want to. One on this side, one on that side, and it has this fall protection cable that's tied to the strap here in case it does fall out. But this one here is a real quick install. So if you wanted to pull it down, if you're doing a day of loading firewood and you're throwing stuff, you don't want to smash your glass up, pretty easy to remove. I may one day get a headache rack that mounts to the bed. Also, if you don't want to spend the money on the wiper kit on day one, you don't have to. The holes are already there. You can come back and add that later if you want. Here's a quick look at this where I'm not holding the camera. So as you can see, as I'm moving this, I'm flexing the glass. The struts, cylinders, whatever you want to call them, they are not moving at all. It's pretty solid up there. So we'll drive around now and you guys can see how this thing stays put, about 15, maybe 20 mile an hour. Then we'll do a little wind comparison test too. So one thing I really do like about this, I mentioned it earlier, so unless I put the camera kind of all the way up, you don't even see the rim of that glass. It's a pretty good open area. It's not, low in your line of sight. The height of that's perfect. You see the glass kind of shaking there a little bit, but the rocker arms, the side arms there, just fine. Got about 15 right now. Okay, a little faster than 20. You can see there, we hit almost 23, 24. It's fine. You could probably go a little faster and it'd be fine. I don't think that I would want to. I'm not here to break things that I paid for. Structurally sound, it's not going anywhere. Windshield is open, wind cover is off. You'll get a sense of how much air is coming through the cab on this microphone, hopefully. That is, if you can hear the wind over the sound of this motor roaring. What I think's awesome about this too is I can close it on the fly. I could stop it kind of right there if I wanted to. Get a little bit of ventilation. If it's raining, I can still have ventilation. All right, here we go. Oh, you gotta put it in drive first. That is so different. It's like there's no wind. That's incredible. Probably a little bit of side wind. Yeah, there's that turn. Now, gone. 26 mile an hour. Also, this thing's wired to the key, so it won't just go up and down without the key being on. I'll be curious to see what that's like on camera. The volume of air difference is pretty amazing. I'm saying that like it's something novel. It's a giant windscreen. Either it's there or it's not. But the ability to have that airflow, I love it. So nice. So the big question is, if you haven't looked, how much do these cost? Well, they weren't cheap. This one I think was $975 and the back one was $550, and that was on sale. At the time I bought these, SuperATV was having, will you shut up? This thing's gonna get an air horn, and then I'm gonna run about 40 mile an hour right at those geese. So SuperATV was running a 20 or 30% off sale when I bought these. So they do go on sale. Keep an eye out for that if you're looking for them. I think all in together, 1,600 bucks in total, which really, when you're basically buying a small car or a small truck, and I know I'm gonna have this thing for a long, long time, it's worth the investment. Are they coming back for an air attack? They know better, right? So they flew about 600 yards in the circle to land about 10 feet from where they took off. Brilliant animals. Oh, also I didn't mention it. At some point, this thing will be street legal. I'm gonna get turn signals on it and get it registered so I can take it out on the roads. And I would much prefer to have clear glass than poly. Visibility would be better and it would clean easier. Be nicer and safer to have than poly. So now, knowing what I know, would I buy this setup again? Yeah, absolutely. I love it. It's the perfect setup for me. I think another thing that I think is really awesome about having a flip windshield is that I often like to conversate through the front of the vehicle, or I'll leave things on the dash that I need, like tape measure, gloves, etc. If you have this open, you can reach in and out of here. Not that big a deal, but it's just nice to be able to do. Or if my wife's in here and we're out talking about a project somewhere and it's muddy and I have boots on and she doesn't, or she doesn't want to get muddy or doesn't want to get out or whatever, I can just walk away and talk to her without having the windshield be an interfering item. That sounds close and low. Oh, a third one. Let's say you're on a limited budget and you have to make a decision. Glass versus poly, flip versus not. What would you do? Should you pick solid glass that doesn't move or poly that moves? What should you get? Well, if I had to go back and do this again and save money, as much as I love the glass, I think that I would opt for poly that flips. They make a poly that has the power fold. They make a poly that's a manual fold. Regardless, I would get something that has the fold. The ability to open and close the cab and let air flow through is so big to me. As much as I like the glass, like the clarity, have the long-term longevity of it being crystal clear, in my opinion, the flip functionality is of way more benefit. So if you're in the market for a windshield or two, give these a look. Oh shit. All right, that's enough yip yapping for me. I got stuff to do. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys next time. That right there, though, is probably an example where I should close the cab if I'm gonna be throwing dust like that, you know? All right, now I'm officially leaving. See you guys next time.